The Polish the Mirror podcast. We are back with episode number 17 today. I'm your host, Amy Thurman. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I absolutely love doing this. Oh my gosh, if you're not familiar with this podcast, it is a direct reflection of the story of my life. This is a platform that I created to allow people to share their stories of hope gained in the midst of adversity. And that's a reflection of my life. I have lived the past 10 years with a broken neck, but I have been able to find hope in the midst of that. And so I love being able to share hope with others. So this is a way I get to do that. I chronicled it all out in detail in my book. And so if you have not gotten one of those or you're interested in knowing more about me or my story, I will go ahead and share that link with you. You can grab one at www.getamyshelp.com/book. I will also put that in the show notes and in the description so that you can find that there. But yeah, this is so fun. I get to hear people's stories and get to know them and share their brilliance with the world. And so that's what I'm here to do today. I can't wait for you to meet my friend who I have met in person and who I love, absolutely love, who has so much to offer the world. And I can't wait for you to meet her. Faithann, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Amy. Thank you so much for having me on. You are such a truly blessed soul to know. I'm so glad that our paths crossed, and I do appreciate you very much.
Of course. Thank you for saying that. Oh my gosh, you're going to make me cry right off the bat here.
Well, I'm going to be crying here in a minute, so you're in good company.
It's just going to be an emotional time. That's just how it is. Like, I'm an emotional gal. Like, I am. Like, I cry. I'll be listening to the radio and just start crying because it will hit me deeply. And I think that's okay. I think more people need to, feel their emotions and allow them to surface, which is a whole nother topic. I have done episodes on that before. We won't go there, but at any rate, I'm so thankful that you're here. I love, because I know Faithann in person. Like, we have had lunch together. We see each other once a month. And so just to be able to have people I actually know on here just touches my heart deeply, because I love to be able to, like I said, showcase your brilliance with the world and share with others what you're doing. And so I would love for you to share your story of hope gained in the midst of adversity with us. So the floor is yours. Feel free to share whatever it is you'd like to share with us.
Okay, well, thank you, Amy. And before I begin, I just want to tell you that you have your new book. I'm so proud of you for that, and
Oh, thank
you
you.
are promoting it, and I think it's wonderful. And the reason why I love you promoting your book is because you are a genuine person. So I love it when genuine people who have a go-giver or have a giver's gain mentality have things to share and offer. It's when we're fake and then we try and promote that is so disgusting that I've encountered, and you are the opposite of that. So I would encourage your listeners to check out your book. I plan to purchase a copy soon, and I love the ordinary, common woman being able to share hope without having a network behind them or a television station behind them. I love it. I love that you can do that.
Oh, thank you so much. And it is true. Like, I truly don't expect anything in return. Like, when I'm doing this, and it is just a matter of wanting to help others, because I feel like that's my mission. And so to know that it's being received that way makes my heart so happy. Like, literally, it's bringing me to tears right now, because that's my whole purpose, is to be genuine, to be authentic, and to let others know it's okay to be that way. I'm just me. I'm just doing what I do. And I just love that it's being received that way. So thank you so much for sharing that, Faithann. Oh, touches
You're
me
welcome.
deeply.
I mean, we need to hear that. We just need to hear that it's okay to say, look what I have. Look what I have, because of the genuineness behind it. So my story is centered around what happened when my father died in 2019. So I'll say that my network was instrumental in helping me get through that very, very difficult time. However, I will also say at the foundation of that is the loving care and protection of my Savior, Jesus Christ. So that's beyond. So it wasn't that my network helped me. It was that the Lord used my network to help me get through I mean, I don't even know how I got through it. It was awful.
Mm.
But and when I say network, I'm meaning specifically the people who I was in business with and had been networking in an official way, a networking group where the purpose was to pass referrals back and forth, became so much more than just a way to receive referrals. So when I say my networking efforts, my networking group, that's what I'm talking about. So my father died on September 15th. No, I'm sorry, September 20th, 2019. Now, that's bad enough, but my mother had dementia. And
Oh,
the day he died, I became my mother's full-time caregiver.
mm.
That's bad.
Yeah.
and and
Keeps
in
going.
Yeah, and my sister and her family were living with my parents, and my sister had a debilitating eye disease that kept her in bed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in darkness. She couldn't have any
Jeez.
light and in pain.
Mm.
So not only was the facets of this adversity is layered. First of all, my father had just died, and he was such a crucial, like, anchor for all of us. My siblings, his church, my mother. Oh my goodness, she
Mm.
relied on him for everything. Okay. Then my mother having dementia is this whole new set of problems that I couldn't
Yeah.
even grieve my father because I have this problem. Thirdly, I have my sister's family. So whatever happens to my mom happens to them too, because there's a house, there's caregivers, there's things to figure out, and it all affects my sister. And what I felt like I really discovered that my mom needed a voice. She needed an advocate. The day my dad
Mm.
died, she needed an advocate. My sister, while my mother she loved my mother dearly, and she sacrificed, her whole family sacrificed for my parents in those last few years when they were living with them, helping to take care of them. Not quite in the way that I had to, but like making sure the lawn got mowed, and my sister would help with dinner and things like that. But my sister had her own problems, and so sometimes those would those two things would be in conflict. What's good for
Yeah.
my sister and her family might not be what's best for my mom, but I'm the only
Mm.
thing my mom has. I'm the only thing she has. So I'm
Wow.
fighting, I'm not looking at my sister as my sister. I'm looking at my mom as, okay, what's going to happen to my mom when we don't have money to pay for her care anymore? Well, that affects everything that happens to the house. And everything that happens to the house affects what happens to my sister. I mean, that's just one
Right.
part of it. Not to mention, everything that happened with taking care of her. And at the time, and I still do co-own with my husband a commercial and residential window cleaning service. So that, what am I gonna? I don't care.
Wow.
Well, let me tell you something,
Wow.
Amy. Before 2019, I wanted an empire. I wanted a window cleaning empire. September 21st, 2019, I could care less a thing
Mhm.
about that empire. I didn't
Yeah.
care. We were working, and I was turning work away. We were missing calls. I didn't care. My mom has just fallen for the third time. And my niece is, it's just like nothing
Yeah.
mattered except this. And that was the only thing I could do, was just um, figure out what's going to happen to my mom, not only in the day to day. Here she is. She's grieving. She's lonely. Uh, she's grieving. And then what's going to happen, in 6 months? Because the dementia was pretty progressed by that time. So
It's
how?
like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like, you
Yeah,
went from doing all this to your needs, and it just immediately changed. You were
it
in
did.
survival mode.
Everything. Oh yeah. And I would
Yeah.
wake up. Oh, I feel so bad about this. I would wake up some of those mornings. I would wake up and the first thing I would think of is, you know, if I got hit by a bus and I broke my leg and maybe I had some internal bleeding, I would be in the hospital, but at least I wouldn't be the one who had to
Nobody would
figure
need
out.
me.
Nobody would need me. Nobody
Yeah.
would need me. And then I was like, man, this is awful. This is terrible to think this way. But that's,
A realization. Yeah.
oh gosh. So
Yeah.
how so how my network helped was, first of all, I still went to my weekly meeting, and what it did was it put a wall between either side of me. So um so Monday, Tuesday, it's calamity, it's mom fell again, or mom lost this, or Joy needs that, or the toilet's clogged in a house that's not even mine. But I'm the one,
Yeah.
I'm the call.
Right. Responsible.
Faith
Yeah.
Ann, this is okay. And then Thursday, Friday, all of that. But Wednesday, at least in the morning, I would go to BNI. I would go to my referral group. And some of the members would ask, I'm surprised you're here. I'm like,
Mm.
listen, I need to be here. I need to know what kind of referral the realtor needs this week, just so that something in my life can be normal for an hour and a
Yeah.
half. So that's the first thing.
Consistency. Yeah.
Yeah. The second thing was that I leaned into them for help. So some we had a member who provided home health care, and for 3 years I'm in the same group with her. I didn't need her help, and now all of a sudden, what do I
Mm.
need? I need people at my mom's house round the clock. When I'm not there, I need people there. I lean in. My dad's funeral, I lean in for help. Like, I need some breakfast burritos. Well, for the family who are coming in, well, we had a member in our group that was a caterer. It was things like that uh, helped me. I had an aunt who came in from out of town, and she tried to kind of run over me, like, not not literally, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but she tried to, like, get in there and start
Overstep
running.
her bounds.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was cool because we would go. My mom and my aunt and I had to go pick out flowers. We had to go do all these things for the funeral. Well, everywhere I would go, I would run into people that knew me.
Mm.
So, we're going into these businesses. It's my group that's coming, that's, really helping me. And it gave me the confidence to say, you know what I need you to do is be there for my mom, because you're only here for a couple of weeks. Be there for my mom. Let me take care of everything else, and
Yeah.
be there for my mom, because my mom has nobody right now. And if you could just
Mm.
take some of that off my plate, thank you very much. But it was just, I don't know, it was kind of nice. Like, my network had my parents' car. My parents' car was just a complete total disaster. I had
Mm.
somebody come and detail it. Their bedroom was, because my dad was getting older, and so my dad couldn't really keep up with a cleanliness that you kind of need to have. My mom can't do anything. So my
Yeah.
house, my network provided. I told her, I said, just whatever it's going to take to get that bedroom and bathroom, and of course, and she wants to give me a discount. I'm like, Lynn, you're not taking a discount. This is a big job, and she's like, well, whatever you
Yeah.
to pay me, whatever. I'm like, no, tell me a number. So I would say that I have a blog that I write, all networking related, and in Tour 26, because it's the Networkers Tour Guide, so each article is a tour.
I
Uh,
love that.
yeah, so I talk about how important it is to meet with your referral partners on a regular basis. And one of the things that is why that's important is because you don't know the changes that are coming in their life, and you don't know what's a good referral for them. So we we go through different phases in our life. And so when we keep up with each other, you're in a completely different phase of your life than when we first had that lunch a year ago. You didn't
Yeah.
have a book. So, what I knew you through was your makeup. That was kind of what was connecting me to you. But now I would imagine that what your kind of referrals you want are different than they were when we had lunch.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
and sometimes, Amy, you just need somebody to listen. You need somebody to listen while you say how ridiculous your morning was. And
It's not gonna judge you. Someone who's not gonna judge you. Just allow it to be what it is.
yeah, and if you don't have family, then these are the people that are going to come around you, um, and help you. And I'm not saying, friends and church members and all of that is wonderful. And this is a really nice addition. But the benefit you get with your networking people coming alongside you is you also get their expertise. You get their help in a way that your family can't help you. Like the realtor in my networking group, Joanne Stiles. I ended up, we had to
I
sell
love
my mom's
Joanne.
house. Oh,
Yeah.
isn't she a doll? Right out from
Yes.
underneath her, we had to sell her house. It was just this disease. It's like the devil's disease. It takes and
Yeah.
takes and takes and takes. So we had to sell our house. Well, what would I have done if I didn't know a realtor at that time? I'm wishing that I was laid up in a hospital with a broken leg. Like
Right.
my thoughts aren't clear. But I didn't have to. I'm like, Joanne. She's like, yes, ma'am. What do you need? Well, we got to get this house sold. Okay. And what's funny is my brother did help me quite a bit too. Um, but after my mom died, it came time to settle up. There was an inheritance. Now this is where I'm going to cry.
It's okay.
And he said, Faithann, I think you should get a little bit more. And he said,
Mm.
you sold that house, Faithann. We didn't. You got that house sold. And I was like, oh, just hearing that, like hearing, yeah, I did. I mean, by the
Acknowledge, just
grace of
acknowledging.
God,
Yeah.
by God's tremendous grace, we were able to sell that house because we were fighting a lot of legal things too because I had power of attorney, but my mom didn't have a trust. So if she would have passed away before we could get the house sold, then it would have gone to probate.
Oh,
So
yeah.
everything just fell, and then my family, my lovely sister and her lovely family, what are they going to do? I am.
Yeah.
I have to say to them, I think we're going to have to think about moving out. And I don't want to do that. Like that's the last thing I
Right.
want to do, but who's going
Yeah.
to do it? Like mom needs money. And this is the only asset she has. She has to have money. She can't live with me. She can't live with any of you. We have to figure something out. And that's the other thing that just not networking related so much, but just everything seemed really hard. Like there just didn't seem to be a clear way to go from the beginning. And
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that can see, oh, this is what we should be doing. But I couldn't figure out how to make everybody happy. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I did, but
Yeah. Yeah. Something that you mentioned that you kind of glazed over that I really want to bring to the forefront is that you chose to ask for help,
mm,
that you didn't try to do it all on your own, which as women, we try to do that. But
mhm,
you didn't. You not only did you have this network, that's one thing to have the network, but to
mhm.
be willing to say, hey, I need help. Can you help me? That's a whole nother thing that most of us either don't do or are not taught to do. And
Mhm.
I just want to commend you for doing that, for being willing to ask for help.
Well, I just needed it. And my sister said something to me recently, and my sister and I have a podcast called The Timeless Gospel, and we put up my dad's old sermons because he was
Oh,
a
yeah.
pastor, and then we
Yeah.
talk about it afterwards. It's so much fun. But that's my hobby. But she said,
Yeah.
Mom and Dad gave us a gift of living graciously towards us, and it was a picture of how Christ deals with us, and they gave us that picture in their behavior. And I think that might have been another reason why I felt so compelled, because I'd been shown nothing but grace from my parents my entire life. And so Mom, it's time to step up, Faithann. I mean, she needs me. And I didn't always do it with a cheerful, but I did it.
Yeah.
I did some
Right.
things with my mom that I've never, had to do. And, when they get in that state, they can't do anything for themselves. So
Right.
I
Wow.
remember Thanksgiving. So he died mid-September. So Thanksgiving, by that time she was in a home, but she could leave. Like she was okay to, leave the facility, come to our house, and we made banana bread or something. I don't know. She helped me, but it was just so sad. She just couldn't. I mean,
Mm.
take this half cup of flour and put it in this bowl. She
Yeah.
needed a lot of help to do that. But I have a nice picture of us together. So
Yeah.
from
Oh,
that
I
day.
love that. Yeah, at least you have the memories. Oh, they make
Mm-hmm.
so much of a difference. So you have taken this adversity that you went through, and the
Mm-hmm.
hope that you have found in it was the value of having a network. Like you had that, this was a network that you meet these people weekly, you meet weekly, you know the value they offer in the community, but you were able to find the value they offer to you as a community member,
Mm-hmm.
which made a world of, it sounds like it made a world of difference in the situation.
It did. It was a
Yeah.
tremendous help. And I say all the time, when I talk about networking, we need people. We don't know how, when, or why we're going to need them, but we do. And people need
Yeah.
us. And we don't know how, when, or why they're going to need us, but they will. And the wonderful thing about life is that we don't have a crystal ball. So we don't know these people that we're encountering, if we're going to need them or if they're going to need us. So that means we have to treat everybody as though we'll need them or they will need us. And I think
Yeah, I love that.
that's the heart of networking, is you got to treat everybody like somebody you're either going to need or will need. And there's no difference in importance either way, to be
Right.
needed
And
or to need.
it reminds me, our meeting that we go to, we can talk about mix and mingle, right? We can
Oh
talk
yeah,
about that.
sure.
That because we both live in Norman, Oklahoma.
Well, I live
For
in
those of you
Moore.
who are local. Oh, right. So we live in
Hmm.
the Oklahoma City area in
Yeah.
Oklahoma. But we go to this networking meeting, the first Monday of every month. If you want more information, let me know. I'll be happy to point you in that direction. But it's such a great opportunity. And Sybil Hale is the
Hmm.
one who created it based on the book The Go Giver, and that's what I was trying to get at.
Mm.
That book, oh my word! If you have not read The Go Giver, I forget who it's by. Do you remember his name?
No, and I've been publicly shamed many
I
times at
know.
Mix
I'm
and
so
Mingle for
sorry.
not reading it.
Thing.
So I know I need to read it. I know I
It's
need
so
like an
good.
hour
It's
free.
right. It's so short and it's so interesting. Like you want to just listen to it all. I'd listen to it on Audible. I just
Mm.
like sat down the whole time. It was so interesting, but there's so many good things in it, and that's what it's about. It's more about giving than it is taking. Like,
Mm.
how can I help other people? Because we all have gifts and abilities and talents that we were given to share with others. They're not meant
Mhm.
for us to keep them for ourselves. And
Right.
networking is a perfect example of that, a perfect way for us to be able to share those gifts, talents, and abilities with others. And so you have taken all that you've learned through, I don't know, how many years have you been doing networking?
Well, I joined my BNI group, I think it was 6 or 8 years ago, 2018. So,
Okay. So you've
and
been doing it for a long time, and you've taken that and you've taken all you've learned and you're now making it available to help others, right?
mhm. Yeah, through my blog, thenetworkerstourguide.com/blog. There's about 29 articles that you can read, and I talk everything from the best way to get somebody to agree to meet with you, all the way to what to say in an elevator pitch, also about one-to-one meetings, what to do, what not to do. and all things networking related. And some of them are called mini. Oh, thank you, mini tours, and those are just lists. Like I have a mini tour about how to how to eliminate the awkward silence while you're in line for coffee. So you meet somebody that and you're both in line, but you after the hello, what else do you say? Because you can't leave. They're there with you in line. So it's like 6 questions to ask to make that awkward silence go away. So real simple things that people can just, like a list, up to articles that are several paragraphs long. My most recent one, I talked about how a referral saved my window cleaning business. So it was the specific type of referral that I didn't want to say no to, which led to a whole side of our window cleaning business being developed, so that when COVID came, we had that side of it to keep us afloat. So that's an interesting article to read. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to
Again,
check
it's
that
like
one
you
out.
just don't know. You don't know. So like I felt
Yeah,
like I was in the big leagues when that networking group, Sooner Networking, allowed me to join. I felt like I'd been given the jersey, and to say no to a
mm,
referral would have been like, well, what are you doing here then? So uh,
yeah,
that's a fun article. And then you're right about Mix and Mingle. It's a great way to begin to network. And Mix and Mingle is free to, for now, it's free to join. I'm sorry, not join, but it's free to go to the networking meetings. So you pay for your lunch. So if you're a brand new business in the Oklahoma City metro area, I would highly recommend going to those, as many as you can, and start understanding how to network and what it's all about. And most of the people at Mix and Mingle kind of understand that go giver that you were talking about. They understand that mentality.
yeah, and there are meetings all over the Oklahoma City metro. They're not just in
Mm-hmm.
Norman or Moore, they're all over the place. So if you're interested in those, let Faith Ann or me know, and we'll be happy to share with you the schedule. And it's such a great opportunity. Like I was a disabled entrepreneur, had my own little business, and I didn't realize the power of networking, of just getting out there in your community and getting to know the other business owners. Not for what, like we said, not for what you can gain, although you can gain from that, but just the
Mm-hmm.
power of connection, just connecting with them. And because it's like you said, now I do the same thing when I go out in public, or, because I stay in my house a lot because I have to rest. But when I
Mm-hmm.
do go out, I always see someone I know. And now,
Yeah.
inevitably, someone will say, "Do you have a book with you? I need to buy one. Do you have one with you?"
Right.
And so it's that kind of, it just kind of, it changes the trajectory of your business, but in a wholesome kind of way. If that
Yes.
makes sense. Yeah.
It's great. It's great feedback. So websites are wonderful, and all the online things that happen in Facebook and all of that is wonderful, and I'm really glad we have it. And try to tell somebody what you do and watch their face, and that is a very good way for you to understand and learn how to better tell people what you do, like that feedback, immediate feedback. And then if they're confused, they'll ask you a question. And so you
Mm,
take that and you say, oh, so I need to account for that. The next person I tell, maybe I do it a little differently. So feedback about your business is really good in networking situations. And one thing that B&I taught me was how to succinctly tell people what I do in 60 seconds or less. I had no idea how to do that before B&I,
yeah.
but I do it every week. And so now I know exactly how to tell people how to find referrals for me, because I've had to. I've had to. And a lot of times what we do is we ramble. We ramble about,
Mhm.
and then we get to the point, and we've got 10 seconds left. So
Yeah.
when we are giving elevator pitches in networking meetings, think about trying to educate the room on who you're looking for, instead of how many years you've been in business, how long you've been, how much you love working for XYZ. Like, no, I'm looking for the business owner who just whatever, who just set up an LLC. And why is because I can provide this. Or for window cleaning, often I will say I'm looking for the business owner, who just set up a brick and mortar business and they've just ordered a sign. Because somebody who's just ordered a sign is going to be open to the idea of window cleaning because they want to get their place ready, things like that. So I can spend that minute saying that, or I can waste the entire minute, first of all, like not knowing what to say, or just rambling about and just saying the facts that, we serve the Oklahoma Metro. Well, that doesn't,
Right.
I could talk about this forever.
Oh no,
You'll
I
have
could
to
listen
stop
to you
me.
talk about it forever. No, that is one of the most important things you have taught me, Faithann. I don't know that I've told you this, but to be willing to share and able to succinctly share what it is you're looking for, what type of clients you're looking for, because the fact is that people want to help each other. Like, we want to help each other. If I know specifically what you're looking for, the type of person you're looking for, then I feel like I can help you. But if I don't know that, then it's like you said, it's just throwing spaghetti at the wall. But you gave, I think it was in one of the mix and mingle meetings, such a great example that has really stuck with me, that if your child goes missing, do you remember this?
Oh yeah.
Share that if you don't mind to
Oh
share
sure.
that.
That's one of my tours. That's on the blog. You can
I
go
love it.
right now. Yeah. So when you're at the mall and your child goes missing, instead of calling out, Emily, 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 I'm looking for Emily. Now you have all these eyeballs that want to help you. As soon as they hear that frantic cry, they know, like, especially if you're a mom, some mother's missing her kid. This is serious. Instead of calling out the child's name, say, I'm looking for a girl in a red dress with black shoes. Because now everybody can look. Nobody knows who Emily is. Or instead of saying, she had chocolate cake last night. Well, that doesn't matter. How does that help me find Emily? No, I'm looking for a girl. So, a girl narrows it down, and she's in a red dress. She's about 8, all of that. And then, just networking aside, for the perpetrator, now he's like, oh my gosh, this is being very descriptive. I better let go. I better not, because this girl's going to get found real quick. So when we do our elevator pitches, that's what we need to do. I'm looking for, and you describe, because then we can help you look. If you just say how long you've been in business, and we serve everyone. If you have a house, I can help. Well, that may be true. You may serve everyone, but do you want to? I mean, we're all there to help you. Why not give us the best? Like, we serve homeowners too, but I would never say I'm looking for anybody who owns a house. I would never say that. I would say I'm looking for the retired couple who also hires a maid, a house cleaner. That's who I'm looking for. And there's always a reason, but we don't know those reasons unless you tell us. So that's what your elevator, describe your ideal client and how can I bring you up in a conversation with that ideal client, and you'll be much better prepared. And even if you just prepare, you're going to stand out. So at the very least, prepare something, because you'll stand out. But then, really on steroids, you want that elevator pitch to stand out and drive curiosity. So tell us who you're looking for, and we can help you.
Yes. And it needs to be, would you say, like 45 seconds at the longest?
Well, sometimes you get a minute. I would take that whole minute if you get it. But sometimes, man, you only have 30 seconds, and then you don't have hardly time to do anything but do what you can.
So good. Oh my. So Faithann's website is www.thenetworkerstourguide.com. I have it on the screen. I will have it in the show notes and in the description so that you can just click on it. If you would like to connect with her or get to know her better, or have her help you with your elevator pitch or anything in regards to networking, check out her blog. All of that you can find on her website. I will also tag you, Faithann, in the description. It won't let me do it beforehand. I have to do it after.
Okay.
so
Yeah.
that they can connect with you on the socials as well.
Yeah. And I do
So,
have a private Facebook group that you can join for free. It's the Networkers Tour Guide. And we talk, we do some stuff in there that supports networking. So it's not per se a networking group. It's not like, hey, I'm looking for this or that, but it's support around networking. And then on Saturdays, I do let all the members put an offer up. If they have one, they can put it up every Saturday. We talk about where we're networking, and sometimes I'll ask a question. And then I also put my blog articles up there as they're written. I put them in that group.
yeah, there's a lot of good info in there. I've learned a lot from that group, and I will copy that and put it in the description as well, so that you can find that easily to hop on over to Faithann's group over there. So, oh my goodness, so good. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we hop off here, Faithann?
I would say that you know that the Lord Jesus Christ is Lord, and I would invite you to learn where do we stand before our Creator if you're not a Christian, without sounding too preachy. And if you are a Christian, I would say the Lord is your helper in time of need, and prayers are what can remind you of who's there for you. And the Lord sends people your way. There's no shortage of people to connect with, for sure.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being here. It's been such a pleasure as always. And yes, we need to do lunch again
Yeah,
soon.
let's do that. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
I would love that. Love that. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for listening. If you have found this helpful, I would love for you to share it with others so that they can also receive this message of hope. And if you find it worthy of a 5-star review, that will help us be able to reach more people with our messages of hope. So if you are looking for the other episodes, just go to hashtag Polish the Mirror podcast. It streams live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, all the things. And then I upload the audio to all of the podcasting platforms so that you can find it on there as well. All right. This has been such a fun episode. Thank you all again for being here. And I will be back next week with another fun guest. Bye.